Senior Fellow and Director of Chinese Strategy for the Hudson Institute, Michael Pillsbury, joins me. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, is that true? Is that what we were doing, monitoring illegal fishing, or is something else going on?
That's the most important thing. The Chinese are really quite outrageous in claiming that the South China Sea fish belong to them. So something like 10 countries' fishermen are in there, taking massive amounts of protein, making large amounts of money. Chinese are stopping all this. They're bullying the boats. They arrest the fishermen. But the big picture is something different. That's the Defense Department, for quite some time, has thought that the Pacific Islands are the fallback area in case there's a war with China. We can't necessarily get in close with aircraft carriers anymore because the Chinese have missiles to take out the aircraft carriers. So the great Pacific Island area with air bases, seaports, that was supposed to be the backup zone, you might say, almost like World War II. So when this kind of thing happens, and a Coast Guard ship is denied what it normally is easily approved, just after the Chinese foreign minister has signed a new deal with the Solomon Islands, it's a warning. We don't have our backup zone anymore.
Is it any way related to Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, sort of exercising her muscle and poking a stick in the eye of President Xi by going there? I mean, is this sort of their way to get back at us a little bit by denying our Coast Guard ship a chance to refuel?
As you know, there's a cottage industry to try to read the mind of the Chinese. They never really explain why they do anything. So people are free to say, well, this could be Pelosi's visit, this could be something else. My hunch is this is part of a pattern that the Chinese have realized. They've got to shore up their friends in the Pacific Islands. Money is the key. And blocking the U.S., improving runways or improving ports or military relationships like this Coast Guard visit would have been. This is what the Chinese want to block. So I don't think Nancy Pelosi deserves the blame for this particular incident.
But it's also sort of interesting that the Solomon Islands until 2019 recognized Taiwan as China. And then 2019 it ditched Taiwan and then moved in with Beijing.
Right.
And so, I mean, so that, this has sort of been something in the works.
Yes, the Chinese have decided that Taiwan's on the wrong path. And so they've pulled away about 10 countries that used to recognize Taiwan. They're working on the Vatican, the country the state, if you will, that recognizes Taiwan, that Taiwan cares the most about, is the Vatican. And the Chinese have been offering all kinds of things.
Is there any chance of that?
Yes, I'm afraid the Pope himself has implied that he wants to improve relations with China. So moving the Vatican embassy out of Taiwan and to Beijing is really one of the highest stakes gambles we have going on right now.
Well, I suppose there's precedent. We moved our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Yes.
In Israel. There's some for that. The Pope is a Jesuit,
yes,
which tends to be more liberal in thinking than some other orders of the priesthood. So I suppose that's not wholly surprising.
The Jesuits have a long history of being experts on China. They were actually the first, after Marco Polo, the Jesuits were the first to get there, to establish a base, to write letters home, characterizing China in a certain very positive way. So the Chinese know this. They're quite happy that the Jesuits and the Vatican are moving in their direction.
It's sort of interesting if you sort of step back and look at the globe while we were busy in Iraq.
Right.
Is that China had started its Belt and Road Initiative all over Africa and all over the world, a port in Pakistan, all over the world. But now they're inching to getting the South Pacific.
Right.
They're getting that. And then there may be a naval base put there. So there's a lot going on with China.
Yes, you have a lot of coverage of China that the Chinese told me one time. I said, who really covers China well in America? And your name.
My name came I'll take it about that. The Chinese say we cover it a lot.
Yes.
They may not think we cover it well, though.
They hope you'll do better, accentuating the positive.
So the Chinese are watching.
Yes, they're quite aware of their image inside the United States because, after all, we put about $2 trillion of investment in China still. After all the criticism of the past 10 years of human rights, American investment in China is going up, American trade with China going up. So they're very concerned about their image and stopping short of doing too much that will really frighten American investors.
Well, I hope they're flattered by my pronunciation of the Chinese names. I do practice before the show. I do that. I do practice.
President Xi.
I know. I'm trying to get it better all the time because to be respectful of all my guests and all the people I talk about. Anyway, very nice to see you. I hope you'll come back often. There's a lot to talk about China. Thanks,
sir.
Greta.
Thank you.